get the feeling that you've just given up on humanity. Seriously, you've given up because you're up against some brainwashed individuals that have been inundated with a lot of mundane, just passable movies that they somehow put on a pedestal. I mean, and of course I'm talking about Marvel movies, right? That whenever I see one, I kind of just leave going, what the heck did I just watch? And there's no depth to the character, jokes and so-called jokes every couple of minutes. So I'll go on Amazon and I'll look at that, and I'm keeping my eye out for an Aquaman statue. And I says, well, there's Amazon, there's Aquaman. So I get something like 4 out of 5 stars. And I read some of the reviews, and the first review that you see is for 1 star, and it's lengthy, and to cut it down short, he basically says DC has finally nailed the lid on their coffin. There is, no chance, and it goes on about ranting against the previous movies and how it's, garbage compared to the success of the Marvel movies, and I'm thinking, Aquaman, to me, is on the same wavelength as every Marvel film that's ever done. Okay, it's the same sort of feel you get from an Aquaman movie that you could get from a Marvel movie, right? It's far different from those previous films, and as I said in many other my YouTube videos, in order to keep people interested, every movie has to be different, and Aquaman was different compared to the last one. And if I was to say it was close to DC or Marvel, I would say it was closer to Marvel, right? And I'll get a lot of hate on that. So for him to actually say that, and him actually saying that they've nailed the lid on the coffin of DC and how Marvel is much better, I'm thinking, well, you just contradicted yourself. Because if you love all that stuff in Marvel films and you hate Aquaman, then I don't see the logic. All I do see is the biased views, because Aquaman is as Marvel as you can get, and for you to say you don't like it is basically saying, well, you're not really a big fan of Marvel either. So then of course we're getting all this news about these how we're getting Wonder Woman 3's already on the go. We're getting an Aquaman 2, and some people saying that nobody's excited for Aquaman 2. That's because there's no adverts and whatnot. And I'm thinking, well, Aquaman made a lot of money, so of course it was going to get a sequel. And it's your own interpretation, because you didn't like maybe the Aquaman movie, that you're thinking there's no hype. There is no hype, as far as I can see, for Captain Marvel. That Marvel woman that stole Shazam's name. There's no hype for that. It's probably going to be another female agenda stuff. I mean, it'll probably do well, because it has to, with the Marvel trickery, they have to make movies in order to build up to the next one. But really, you don't really need to see this movie to understand what happens in the next one. So when I go on that, and I looked at the post on the tweet, and underneath this picture I use as a thumbnail, and it goes on about and saying, why is nobody excited for a Man of Steel 2? We all wanted Man of Steel movie 2, we all wanted this and that, and then of course somebody said Zack Snyder destroyed it. Zack Snyder, seriously? Do you want another sort of Christopher Reeve movie that is like one-sided? Now don't get me wrong, as I say, I enjoyed the Christopher Reeve movies 1 and 2. Don't talk to me about the other two. But they were fine, and it was of their time. but in no way do they reflect the comics of today and the mature readers that we have just now that love these, that love to get something from Henry Cavill that is more up-to-date version of Superman. With Man of Steel, we had somebody that is, you know, is not Superman yet, and he's learning his ways, and he's seen what happens if he goes over a line. And then we get in BVS, somebody that's trying to help, but it's been trodden down, and he feels that the world is such a dark place, which it is, the world, and it just reflects. Maybe that's why people don't like it, because they want escapism. Well, this is Superman fighting what's real in BVS, and with that ultimate sacrifice he does, and then he brings worlds and nations together. You don't get that with a campy Marvel sort of movie. But if you want to somehow destroy the superhero franchise by constantly wanting the same type of movie every day, then people aren't going to get bored with it. People will be, you know, people won't really have a choice in superhero movie. People, as I said in my other video, people are getting tired of them because they're all the same. And my biggest argument against that is you cannot say Man of Steel or BVS is the same superhero movie that's been done by Marvel. It's totally a different flavour. And that is why when we asking for a Man of Steel sequel, we really are asking for a sequel and not a redo or a rethink of that character. We want to see that same character and a slow progression into it, not a quick progression that Justice League tried to make him into. Somehow he woke up and he's a different man entirely with different thoughts and ideas. We don't want that. And I'm sure you guys don't want that. We want Zack Snyder's Henry Cavill slowly becoming the hero and not somehow quickly into, hi, yes, surely that's not the Superman you want. This is my truth. DC Vigilante out.